If you're looking for a performance SUV, I want to introduce you to the recently relaunched Mercedes-AMG GLC43. This model sees some major changes to its engine, outputs and underpinnings. And this week I'm family testing just how practical those changes are for family life. It competes against the BMW X5 M50, Audi SQ5 and the Porsche Macan S. Let's see how it's fared. There are three variants for the GLC for both the SUV and coupe, and our model is the AMG GLC43 SUV. I would be amiss to say that this is a mid-spec model, even though technically that's where it sits in the lineup. Think of this as a top model with the baby performance engine compared to the GLC63 SE Performance. It is priced accordingly at $136,400 before on-roads, and that positions it as the most expensive compared to its rivals. And it's $2K dearer than the outgoing model it replaces. Our model has been fitted with the Performance Ergonomic Package for $5,308. This does add a bunch of features, but highlights include AMG Performance Sport Seats with heating, and AMG Performance Steering Wheel, as well as Nappa leather upholstery. This model also has an optional metallic trim across the dash, which adds $1,307 to the price tag. That brings the total before on-roads price to $143,015. Other standard features include a panoramic sunroof, Burmester surround sound system, an augmented reality sat-nav, and a 5G module for the Mercedes Me Connect app. The full details are in my written review at carsguide.com.au if you want more info. The GLC43 looks distinctly more aggressive than its GLC300 counterpart. It sports vertical struts in the grille instead of the star motif and a sporty spoiler lip at the rear, which really complements the quad exhausts. The black paintwork also just makes it look like a sports star, which should excite all the drivers out there. The dashboard is headlined by an 11.9-inch touchscreen multimedia system and a 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster. The ambient lighting system in here totally transforms it at night and really makes it look pretty flash compared to some of its rivals. I also really like the cute little air vents up on the dash. It just adds a little extra interest. The option sport seats make this totally look like a performance SUV, and the AMG badging that's found everywhere in this car won't let you forget it either. I think this looks pretty darn smart inside and out, but let us know in the comments what you think of it. The cabin up front feels like a cockpit because these optioned sport seats really lock you into place, like you are not moving in a bend, which is great. I also like the adjustments for the lumbar and under thigh supports, but the massage and stretching function is particularly good at alleviating any fatigue on a long journey. While I found the seats comfortable, my husband wasn't a massive fan of them, mostly because he mentioned that he needed extra space between the legs, and the bucket style just didn't give him that space. Take from that what you will. Individual storage up front is excellent for the class, with a decently sized middle console glove box, as well as really big storage bins in each door. I also like that you get a good sized center cubby as well. The multimedia system looks great and is easy to use. I also like that there's heaps of customizations that you can make that really make it quite personal experience. You get wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, as well as built-in sat-nav too. You get a head-up display, and the digital instrument cluster is highly customizable and looks great with its high-end graphics. You also have great charging options up front with 3 USB-C ports and a wireless charging pad. It's pretty easy to get in and out of this row, but the side steps are overkill for me. The seats themselves are on the harder side, so they're not as comfortable. I do have heaps of room though back here, which is great. I do think though that if there's only adults involved, this is best suited as a 4-seater. The amenities and storage are okay in this row. I like that you get directional air vents, 2 cup holders and a fold down armrest and reading lights, but this row does miss out on any type of charging option, which is a bit of a shame for this spec level. This row has ISOFIX child seat mounts on the outboard seats plus 3 top tethers. You'd be doing very well to get 3 seats back here. 2 are definitely going to fit best, and I had no trouble fitting my Monster Booster seat this week. For a medium SUV, this has a really good boot size at 620 litres. I like that you get lots of underfloor storage and that the back row has a 40-20-40 split because it just opens up the storage options. I had plenty of room in here for my groceries and shopping this week, and as always, I love having a powered tailgate. This is the first Mercedes-AMG GLC to sport the new 2-litre 4-cylinder turbo-petrol engine, which replaces the 3-litre turbo V6 from the previous model. What makes this one interesting though is that it has been formulated with Formula One tech, and that means that its performance is boosted by an electric turbocharger, so you don't have to wait for the power delivery, it's instant. This engine produces 310 kilowatts and 500 newton meters of torque, so a little bit more power but a little bit less torque than the previous model. It's an all-wheel drive and features a mostly smooth 9-speed auto transmission. But this is a true AMG engine, in that it's been single-handedly handcrafted by one master engine builder, which is pretty cool. After driving this, you simply can't not call it a performance SUV. That new engine and the Formula One tech really makes a bloody awesome on-road driving experience. Power delivery is quick-witted but stable. You never feel overwhelmed by what the car is doing, which is pretty important for a high-performance SUV. I do like that it has a track pace feature for whenever you take it to a racetrack. It is a part of the optioned package. Whether or not you need it for a family vehicle, probably not, but it is certainly a fun feature. This model does see new adaptive suspension and it sports hard. While I really like the dynamic feedback you get on the open road, I don't think it's the comfort of a tourer that you would expect for a Mercedes. And for the daily drive, it's a bit of a hard ride. This also has new rear axle steering and it creates a totally nimble experience when you need to do quick maneuvers or you're really hugging those mountain bends. This is super fun to drive. All of the pillars in this model are pretty wide, and that means that I actually found that I was doing a lot of weaving and bobbing with my head to check on my blind spots, particularly when I did hairpin turns or big bends. On the straights, you don't really notice it that much though. It is a bit of a bummer, but the cabin is really loud with road noise, no matter what speed you're going. And that does lean into that harder ride like the suspension gives. It's not that it's unrefined, but I just feel like after a long journey, you might feel like you've been battered with your senses. Because of the electric turbocharger, power stays high but revs low at lower speeds, and that can make the parking experience feel a little bit bunny hoppy at times until you get used to how to accelerate at lower speeds. Once you do though, it's a breeze, and it makes it even easier because the 360-degree view camera system is top notch. The official combined fuel cycle figure is 9.9 litres per 100 kilometres. My real world usage came out at 8.8 litres, which I was very happily surprised at, especially considering that I really put this through its paces this week. I'm talking heavy mountain roads, long trips, and heaps of urban driving mixed in. It has not skipped a beat, and that usage is pretty economical for such a powerful SUV. Based on the official combined fuel cycle and 62-litre fuel tank, you should see a theoretical driving range of around 626 kilometres. Don't be surprised if you do hit the Bowser more often and that it's not that cheap to fill, because this only accepts a premium 98 octane unleaded petrol. The GLC43 has a maximum 5-star ANCAP safety rating from testing done in 2022. It also scored quite highly on its adult and child protection scores at 92% each. It features 10 airbags, including side chest protection airbags in the rear seat. And it's pretty usual just to see those in the front, so that's great for a family car. The safe exit assist feature is pretty cool in this because the lights on the doors will flash red and there'll be a sound alert if an obstacle is detected. The full safety specs are in my detailed written review at carsguide.com.au if you need more info. The GLC comes with a 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty, which is a normal term for the class. You can pre-purchase either a 3, 4 or 5-year servicing program, and on the 5-year program it costs an average of $1,249 per service, which is pretty expensive compared to its rivals. Servicing intervals are reasonable though, at every 12 months and an extra long 25,000 kilometres, whichever occurs first. The Mercedes-AMG GLC43 has you back if you're looking for a performance SUV that can still moonlight as the family daily driver. It's got a really practical cabin space with lots of storage. Is it too expensive? Yep. Would I have one? Absolutely. It's fun and it's got heaps of features, so it gets an 8 out of 10 from me. My son was really won over by this one because it's just got cool superhero vibes going on, and he loved the burbling of the engine. He gives it a 10 out of 10. If you're after more details, check out my full written review at carsguide.com.au, and I'll see you next week.